All right, guys, on the cardio today, got a little different video than normal just because I have a day in between my splits. So technically today would have been an off day, but came into the gym, got some isolated legs done, and now the plan was originally hit the stairs, but over here, super isolated corner, 1,000 degrees. And when I say 1,000 degrees, I really mean it. It is hot. So the incline treadmill should do the trick. So we're gonna do a little cardio Q&A. Plus, I feel like I'll be able to answer the questions a little better and it'd be easier to listen to on the treadmill rather than clunk, clunk, clunk on the stairs. So that's what we're gonna do. I have your guys' questions right here, and we're just gonna go through and answer some questions during cardio. What supplements do you use, and do I use creatine? Answer, yes, I do. Creatine around 5 grams post-workout. As for supplements right now, I'm just sticking to the bare bones. Whey protein isolate post-workout around 30 grams of protein. And that Vitrago carb complex that I always talk about, that's immediately first thing after every workout. Most importantly is going to be the carbs and then the protein. So as long as you're getting your protein in throughout the day, you should be fine. But I feel like there's more of a window for the carbs. You kind of want to replenish that muscle glycogen. So if there's one thing I could recommend to you guys, especially the ones trying to put on size, get your carbs in. Obviously if you're trying to lean out, then stick to the diet plan, but carbs all day. That leads into the next question. What is your diet looking like? Well, I've talked about my diet a little bit. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but I'll give an example for a post-workout meal. Now, I'll usually try to get, I'd say about 8 ounces of chicken breast. And I try to stick with the white meat only because you're gonna get the most protein and the less fat. So I could do like 8 ounces when like a typical serving would be like 4. So if the fat's low, then I'll be more inclined to eat it. It's less calories. You gotta think of it this way. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And 1 gram of fat's 9 calories, so it's like over double. If you were to eat fat all day, then it's like you're eating over double the amount of calories as carbs and protein. I also got another question about a natural lifter's potential, and I answered this in the comments the other day, but I want to go into detail about it again. If you're natural, it's going to take a long time to get where you want to be. So in other words, if you're looking to hop on stage, or you're looking to maybe even get your pro card, I would take time to develop your body first. If it's your first year in the gym, I would take some time to develop the muscles before entering into a contest, unless you just want to do it for fun. There is that aspect, but I would focus on the training. I always say, don't worry about the posing. I mean, it comes in at the end. So you're not gonna look the same 16 weeks out as you will 2 weeks out. So just take your time with it. My recommendation is focus on the weights and the food. Food is like the most important thing. Posing's not gonna really help the beginning of the process. That comes later down the road, and just stay consistent. If you don't have a routine where you're at least lifting or getting some physical activity in 5 days a week, you should get that routine going first and then start the contest prep. All right, so by far most viewed videos on the channel are the shoulder and delt days. And I got a question about how often I train shoulders. Lately, I've been training shoulders more often than I usually do. I'm throwing it in as its own day on the split, just because I've been seeing the development, especially in the rear delts. So I'm gonna keep that on the training program until further notice. But for anybody new, I'd recommend you trying shoulder day on its own and try to space the gap between shoulders and chest, because if you're gonna be pressing, you want your shoulders to be fresh on that chest day. Because typically you're gonna be able to throw around more weight on chest day than you will shoulders, just because it's a more fragile muscle. But don't be afraid to give shoulders its own separate day. How do you get abs? I feel like people ask this one a lot, although I feel like abs aren't as popular as they used to be. Definitely, if you're in men's physique or classic physique, rather, you should have abs. Now, men's physique, they're not really looking too much at your lower body, so that washboard abs is the first thing the judges are gonna see on you. So you better make sure you're conditioned enough to have those abs popping through. Whereas classic physique, you can get away with a little bit more because you're showing the lower body, but that doesn't excuse the fact that you shouldn't be lean enough to have abs. So I definitely make sure that you're training abs once a week for touch-up. And if you're somebody that's lacking in that area, go ahead and throw it on maybe a few days a week. But don't go grabbing any heavy weights. Don't do any twists with 25 pounds. You know, keep it light, keep the reps high, make sure it burns, because ultimately that's what's gonna bring them out more. I realize this answer turned into a bodybuilding competition focused question, but it is true. You know, most people that are tuning in or watching are trying to get into competing, so just answering it in that fashion. All right, I also got a question about arm day. Do I have an exclusive arm day? Now, going back to the shoulder question, I've been throwing biceps and triceps in on shoulder day at the end, just because there's, you know, not a crazy amount of exercises you can do for your shoulders, and they're usually blasted pretty quick. So I could do 6 sets of presses and 6 sets of lateral raises, and I'll be pumped already. So from there, I don't want to overdo it, especially since I had a prior shoulder injury. I don't want to overdo it. So in that case, I turn it over to biceps, triceps, and a little bit of forearms. So don't neglect your forearms. That's something you want to, you know, work just as often to keep that body proportion. All right, this treadmill definitely giving me more work than the normal treadmills downstairs. This is like a sauna corner. But before we wrap things up, we hit 300 subs. So I wanted to say thank you for consistently tuning in. We're pushing all the way to 1,000. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing. I'm thinking before we go, we might do an end of the week physique check. And yeah, I'll see you guys down there. All right, gonna get a non-pumped physique check. This is like the first physique check I think I'm doing in a long time, at least for this prep series. So this will give you an idea of what a post-cardio physique's gonna look like. Definitely not pumped, just disclaiming that right now. Just gonna go through what we're looking like, I think 15 weeks out, so. All right. All right. Ooh, dropping shit. All right, that wraps up cardio day. I think this is the first official cardio day that we filmed. So this is day what? 25, knocked out. Yeah, felt okay to start posing again. I don't know, you guys need to let me know what you think. What's the physique looking like at 16 weeks out? This is like the beginning. Is it? I don't even know. I'm not really keeping track, but we're still pretty far off. So the posing is gonna start. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to start dropping a little bit of weight, which kind of sucks, but we're gonna try to maintain as much muscle as possible this year. I don't see myself dropping more than like 10 pounds because I'm already pretty lean this far out of contest. So we're gonna see what we look like come show day. But until then, we got a lot of work to do. So yeah. Someone advised me to say, turn on post notifications. So if you haven't already, do that as well, because we're posting every other day. So this should be your trigger to go hit the gym. So I'm trying to motivate you guys as well, along with me on this journey. So with that, I gotta go get some food in me. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.